What's going on with Suga? Jin suddenly gives Jungkook an emotional advice. An unexpected tension occurred behind the scenes of BTS. Jin, who just completed his military service, gave emotional advice to Jungkook, and the issue leads to something deeper, namely Suga's increasingly noticeable absence. Is this merely a private moment between two members, or is there a serious concern about BTS's future formation? This incident surfaced after a clip of Jin and Jungkook's interaction circulated from their recent private meeting. Jin, who has always been known for his calm and humorous demeanor, was seen speaking in a high and emotional tone to the group's magne. There was no anger, but Jin's tone reflected anxiety and seriousness never before shown publicly since debut. Jungkook's silent bowed reaction made the situation even more questionable. What actually happened, and why is Suga's name being whispered in this internal discussion? Suga, who is currently serving his military service as a public service worker, has indeed not appeared in official BTS interactions for quite some time, including in group broadcasts and posts. However, what makes this situation more suspicious is the lack of explicit mention or support from the other members toward him, unlike how they responded to Jin and J-Hope during military service. The public asks, are inter-member relations being tested, or is something deliberately being hidden? Jin did not directly mention Suga's name in his advice to Jungkook. However, some fragments like, you have to know when to speak and when to keep your distance, and this isn't just about you, but about all of us, are considered as strong codes implying internal conflict. Fans quickly linked this moment to Suga's absence from several important BTS moments even before military service. Is this a sign that Jin is reminding Jungkook to preserve the group's solidarity that's starting to crack? Jungkook, who has recently been more active as a soloist and often appears in various international events, seems reluctant to respond to media questions about BTS's current formation. In his latest interview, he even said, "I'm focusing on my music now, and others have their own path." This statement sparked sharp reactions from fans and netizens who felt that the members' individual orientation is starting to jeopardize the group's unity. Jin's advice came only a few days after Big Hit Music's official statement about BTS's plan to return as a full group in 2025. However, no further confirmation has been made regarding each member's involvement in the comeback. The lack of information about Suga's condition or opinion adds speculation that BTS is undergoing a serious internal dynamic never before revealed. If Jin's advice was truly meant to warn Jungkook about loyalty or collective responsibility to the group, then it could be that Jin is trying to mediate something bigger. He is the first member to return from military service, and his position as the oldest member gives him perspective and a symbolic role as the guardian of group unity. His emotional stance could reflect frustration seeing BTS members each taking their own path, while the dream to perform together again begins to lose direction. What is Suga's role in all this? Why is his name not mentioned even though he is one of BTS's main creative pillars? Some speculate that Suga is considering focusing on his producer or solo career, as he once expressed before enlisting. His absence from various key moments, including internal celebrations and group video calls, strengthens the suspicion that an emotional and professional distance has begun to form between him and the other members. No statement has been released by the agency until this news was written. However, public pressure on Big Hit Music to be transparent about BTS's internal dynamics is getting louder. ARMY, known for their loyalty and protectiveness toward the group, are beginning to show divided opinions. Some demand clarity, while others choose to trust the group's process without openly questioning. One thing is certain: Jin didn't speak without reason. His usually light communication style changed to one full of emotional pressure, a crucial signal. Many K-pop industry observers believe that Jin's warning may be intended to prevent a deeper potential split before all members return to activity. If so, this advice moment is not just a member-to-member interaction, but a crucial point that could determine BTS's future direction. Amid this uncertainty, a major question arises. Will BTS remain intact when all members return, or have they each taken separate paths that can no longer be united? Jin has spoken, and the public is now waiting. not just for clarification, but for certainty that the bond between the seven who once conquered the world has not truly fractured. After sharp attention turned to Jin's emotional advice to Jungkook, the public is now faced with a greater dilemma. Are we witnessing an authentic reality or merely the target of a cleverly constructed narrative by the entertainment industry and digital media? In today's fast-paced information era, how can we distinguish between genuine expression and carefully crafted scenarios to attract global attention? It's important to highlight that the information developing around this incident comes from various social media platforms like TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and other online forums. But can we really trust cropped videos, edited narratives, and comments that may lack strong factual foundations? Are we aware that every viral image or soundbite can be manipulated to shape a mass opinion that's not entirely accurate? In this context, skepticism is reasonable. Did Jin truly give Jungkook strong advice out of concern for BTS's internal dynamics? Or is this merely an exaggerated interpretation of a normal interaction, later spiced up with speculation to increase reach and exposure? More importantly, is there really an indication that Suga is the main cause of the tension, or is this merely a speculative assumption based on his absence? If we observe more closely, there's been no official statement from Jin, Jungkook, or the agency explicitly confirming or denying the incident. So why is the public so quick to believe narratives built on unofficial sources? Have we lost the ability to filter information rationally amid the flood of viral content? The polarized public reaction between supporting Jin as the group's moral guardian or defending Jungkook as a victim of pressure shows how easily division can occur just because of unverified information. We must ask ourselves, who benefits from this commotion? Are the fans truly protected, or merely tools for media and algorithms to create sensation? Furthermore, it is important to criticize the motives behind the spread of such issues. Is this an indirect attempt to divert public attention from another major issue, such as Suga's absence from group activities? Is this part of a communication strategy designed to build a new narrative ahead of the members' return from military service? Or is it simply a product of the content industry that knows no limits in exploiting the private lives of public figures for engagement? We must learn not to swallow every piece of information whole, even if it comes from seemingly credible sources. Behind every viral news, there's always potential bias, hidden interests, and subjective interpretation. So the question is, do we as the public truly have enough knowledge to conclude something, or are we just trapped in a collective illusion created by the media ecosystem? Quoting contemporary philosopher Jean Baudrillard, in the postmodern world, reality often no longer becomes the reference, but instead a simulation, a reflection of something that may have never actually happened. Is the incident between Jin and Jungkook part of true reality, or merely a simulation constructed by cameras, algorithms, and public perception? It is also important to question the fandom's role in reinforcing this narrative. Have we, as fans and pop culture consumers, unconsciously amplified the illusion by spreading baseless opinions, speculations, and conspiracy theories? Has our love for BTS turned into a form of obsession that makes us lose objectivity? We do not intend to corner anyone. On the contrary, we want to encourage readers and fans to reflect on their position as information consumers. Are we critical enough to ask, where does this information come from? What's the evidence? Who benefits? Why is this happening now? These questions must be part of our process in responding to every developing issue. If it's true that Jin gave emotional advice to Jungkook, then it's an internal matter that should be respected and kept private. However, if it's merely the result of clever media framing, then we've become victims of a system that commodifies celebrities' lives with no ethical boundaries. Now we return the question to you, dear readers and fans. Do you truly believe that this incident happened as reported? Or do you feel that something was deliberately constructed to provoke public reaction? Does this article help you see the possibility